Guayo. I apologize. I'm leaving a sticky note in the background so that way I can actually maybe like keep on topic. We'll see if that works. I have my glasses on though, and for those of you that aren't aware, no, there's no. I feel like so FLCL when I do that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. It means you're probably too young or you don't appreciate really good anime. It helps with my ADHD. It gives me focus because frames. Sorry guys. Um, I should probably restart because I said Guayo. I didn't say once again who the fuck I am. But so hi, I'm Sky. I go by a lot of names actually. It's funny. I was with. This is me not getting derailed too fast. Um, I was with a client earlier today, and we're out working, and then somebody else who knows me from more of the art scene saw me and said hi and stuff like that, and we like talked briefly, but they addressed me as Sky, which is generally my art scene handle, and also just like one of my names. Um, it kind of became more art scene handle just because so much of the getting all the resistance stuff out there for a while in Jersey was like so much through just art stuff, and now it's gone back to being everything. A lot of it was just me, covering life. But anyways, so they address me Sky, and then my client knows me as Tiber or Ty, and so it was just this amusing moment. But anyways, so that actually that goes to the next thing, which is we've been doing. So I missed last night just because there's been a lot as usual going on. When is there not? I was up until very late last night doing work and stuff. Kisa came over yesterday, and me, BB, and Kisa did an hour-long qigong for kidneys, and like, oh my god, did I need it? Like, I can't explain to you guys. I'm sure some of you watching this are like, qigong and yoga, what? Listen. I got raised with this stuff, and despite that, I still used to be that mindset. And I only started doing this stuff again now because I made myself do it because I physically needed to. I know no doctor told me to do this. The cat is harassing. Come here, you. Oh no, no, you want to run away. Come here. You want to be a harasser, my little familiar who's trying to get me off track? That's fine. Hey everybody, it's Pan. He's fine. He loves this. He loves the attention. Oh my god, do you see this baby? He's such a don't run with Mike. But so I used to be like that. I had to start doing it. I just knew I had to. Life was telling me to. And I've learned to listen to life because otherwise it makes me regret it. Like, just another getting in the way of oneself. So we did the kidneys one, and that's just where all the toxins sit. It's where you turn into sludge, and so much of the stuff that's coming out. Let's make sure this is close enough for you guys to hear me. So much of the stuff that's coming out in July is centered around like how we get ourselves stuck in the sludge. I mean, talk to most people. Like, if you were like, "How are your kidneys doing?" They'd be like, but like medically, that's like if you don't take care of them, you will die. We live in a world filled with filtering shit all the time, and yet we don't pay attention to this stuff. So also from an energetic standpoint, because it's all interconnected, they're not separate from one another. Just mindfully clearing out your toxins, like letting your energy flow. And for those of you that are like energy, you're made of electricity and water. Like scientifically proven, you conduct electricity all the damn time. So this isn't a new news to you. So just because you've been taught to go, oh my god, it's woo crap. No, it's science, honey. It's science. It's just if it was fed to you as legit science by Westerners, then we wouldn't be living in the US of A. To say, eventually that'll change. Maybe tomorrow. That'd be nice. But so we did the kidneys thing, and it's been clearing out all this gunk from me, including, all these feels, which, come back every single damn day, but then they get released. And so I woke up this morning, though, and like, oh my God, my back was just like, you have relieved so much weight for me, and I know. And it's because of, so the other thing that was going on was I started having relapsing feels before doing the kidneys one. That didn't cause that at all. Because of being as mindful, and I'm still petting the cat. Because of being so mindful now, just over the past couple months of like doing the yoga, doing the qigong, and also more importantly, at first, like just doing the self-care stuff, which that video is almost done being edited, yay. It has made me completely recognize when I am starting to rapid cycle, which I know I brought up in the last video. So my brain and my chemistry tried to spike. I tried to go manic, and I handled that. And then I was like, oh, okay, it's all good. And then last night, we're dropping Kisa off at the train. Oh my God, Cat, why are you shedding this much? You don't shed this much on me typically. What are you doing? He's very proud of himself right now. I'm gonna remove him. Hold on. What are you doing? Go. Why are you stress shedding like a jerk? For those of you that are like, what are you talking about? I work with cats for a living. They stress shed. That's why when you go to the vet, there's hair everywhere. Because animals stress shed. Sometimes, some animals stress shed for the hell of it, and they can do it on purpose, and he just does it sometimes when he gets really cozy. He's like, I'm just going to release all this junk on you, and then I'm going to go. So I usually boot him. Anyways, back to what I was trying to say with kidney stuff. I'm going to have to pause this. Do you remember where I was at? You weren't listening to me.
No, I was not paying attention to you.
That's better off.
I would not do anything if that was all I was doing.
This is true. BB's over there, guys. Oh yeah, so I felt myself last night. Probably forgot like how to bring this up because it's hard to talk about. To the world, not just my partners, but saying this shit on the internet. I'm fine. I'm dealing, however, with cat hair all over my face. Come on, man. Were you trying to stop me from talking about stuff? He's still sitting down there. He's very angry right now. I almost started. Hold on. Oh my God. Well, I'm still going to talk about it, despite the fact that I'm covered in cat hair. So bear with me. I might be like blowing my face off a lot. Last night was new moon. Yes, that kind of stuff matters to me, for obvious reasons, because everything's interconnected. And we dropped off Kisa at the train, and I started the moment we went out the door. And I had been feeling much better all day. I had such an anxiety panic attack thing. Now, I have had, and I have different types of panic attacks. I haven't really had any recently, since I really get on top of this. Mind you, I've had like little blips, but they're not like, they're ones that I feel them coming, and then I go, and I feel like the first little blip of it being like, whoa, stress, loud thoughts cascading through my head at a volume that I can't possibly think properly of all these different thoughts about one thing, like just screeching it. I hear it coming and I shut it off because I've gotten good at doing that, and not in a bottling way, but in a no, and then it goes elsewhere. It's gone. But so we went outside and I looked around and just saw people outside, and I proceeded to have a little mini panic attack inside, which I haven't had one of those for a while. And it just went through me, and I kept walking. I was like, whatever. We went to, I didn't bring it up to anybody either, which is a thing that I used to do a lot in the past, because I learned really fast that when I was a kid that being clear on being like this, nobody knew how to handle it. So eventually I learned how to shut it off, which was really unhealthy and dangerous. But in this case, I kept grounding myself mindfully to the best of my ability. It went pretty well. Went to the train, came back, I sat down, I went, I had a really hard time, blah, blah, blah. I talked about it, yeah, all good. But it happened because of me trying to get wrapped back up in my old behaviors because I was doing well. And like I have to bring this stuff up, and I really like, it's one of the few things I don't expect people to understand half the things that I say. And that's fine. We have completely different perspectives. Mine is all over the fucking universes. So from so many different perspectives, it's not even funny. So like I understand when people a lot of times can't follow me, and that's fine. They don't have to. But if people could understand one thing, it's that our emotions, our thought processes, our chemical responses, everything about us is cyclic. Everything. Cyclic doesn't mean it goes in a 2D circle. It doesn't. It means it goes up and down and all over the place, infinities, etc. It ebbs and flows. It's the flow. It's the water. We're going back to the kidneys thing because everything's interconnected. But people tend to get stuck like this. And this is when we get into a coping mechanism that is harmful for us, that's damaging us. We get stuck in it because we feel safe. When we learn to get out of it and start engaging with the world over here, I'm actually doing the thing that I always do to my clients. Anyways, so we're engaging with the new universe over here, where we are not engaging with the harmful thing anymore. Say it was a phobia. We're not scared of it anymore. We're still a little, it's not a problem. Or we have given up an addiction. We're not engaging with it. And suddenly, you just, for whatever reason, maybe you had a bad day. Plenty of the time, here's the thing. I don't like the bad day excuse because it can happen for no reason under the sun. And anyone telling you otherwise doesn't understand how behavior works. Not just for people, for any species, because it's just how it works. You suddenly are compelled to go back and do the thing that you've known. Sorry, that would be open this direction. So go back and do the thing that you've known, and you just try to go back into the cycle. And it's obviously the opposite. Oh, this is going to be a long video. Whatever, that's fine. It's obviously the opposite of growth. It's stagnancy because you get stuck. This has to happen sometimes, naturally, understandably, usually because you're doing so well that you have possibly overexerted yourself a little bit. You don't realize it. Maybe you've pushed yourself too far. Maybe you just are low on reserves. Like I said, I started to have a depression cycle. I told it no. My brain, my body, my chemistry, my spirit, everything tried to have a manic cycle. I went no. And by no, I mean I still allowed myself to feel it. I didn't turn to some like off mode thing because I know how to do that too, and I don't like doing that anymore. It's not healthy for me. But instead, I felt it, but I didn't let myself get carried away with it. I went with the flow. When you get manic, you just try to swim faster. You try to go as fast as you can. You like dive for the rapids. And when you're depressed, you just sink down to the bottom instead of dealing with flowing for some reason or another. And so by saying no to both of these things, I went back to level, and then my brain and my body and my spirit went, no, you. Here, have it. And I got through it. And I'm okay. And actually, it didn't really ruin much of anything. It just made me go, wow, that was really rough. And I could have gotten sucked into that. Because when my brain got like this is a type of panic attack that largely people usually used to just put with schizophrenia. Nowadays, they put it a lot more with PTSD as well, which is when suddenly your reality stops feeling safe in any way. Now, I'm going to add on to that. My reality often does not feel safe. Look what I am. I've been trained by my life that my reality is not safe for me. I'm making it safer. I'm making it safe for people like me, for people not like me, for everyone. But I still know that my life isn't safe. So what kind of level does it have to go into for my brain to go into what it did? Which is where I stepped outside and suddenly all I could just feel and hear was everyone else's really negative thoughts about me. They weren't having them. Those happen because all those people are having their own anxieties. I was allowing myself to, feel other people's existences. And because we are so depressed and in shit right now, not me. I'm working. I mean, I get it. I get it, obviously. But as I said, I haven't been telling it no. Everybody else is trying to tell it no too, but it's everywhere. It's like we've got dementors all over the fucking place. Anybody that's read the Harry Potter books or seen the later movies, yeah, yeah. But anyways, um, and so upon feeling that, my brain short-circuited and went and took those feelings and put it on the idea that like all these feelings were about me, that they were about me, 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 me. These people want to like be horrible to me, hurt me, whatever. By this point, like my brain doesn't even go into actual like real like things that could happen because I've survived so many of those things and I'm not scared of those things anymore. So it makes up this nonsensical like something that doesn't even exist. There's no follow through. There's just a feeling. I don't get a visual with it. And so, and I know this is getting very long, so I apologize, guys. It's heavy subjects, whatever. But I didn't go with it. And I've lived my life years at times going with it. And it's hell. And I know some of the people that pay attention to these videos know what I'm talking about because I talk to you guys about it, or you message me about it, etc., etc. So I get it. But once again, that's why I keep insisting to people on the links below, being like, if you guys have any sort of stress or health stuff, you should really look into doing the qigong and the yoga. Like, no joke. Like, for real. If you have another practice that you do that does that for you and you've fallen to the wayside about it, then go back to doing it. That said, I'm a firm believer, and so is Qigong and Yoga, that you should be using every tool you can if it calls to you. Now, if you're just feeling like silly and embarrassed about it, welcome to us being taught to not do what's healthy for us. Because let's be real, this country's really good to teach you like to not question things, not do healthy things, not take care of one another, and not take care of yourself, and still guilt trip yourself over it. It comes from colonialism. But on that note, Missing Murdered Indigenous Women's March, which is I paused because it's women's trans and two-spirit folk, queer folk, etc., 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 children, yada yada, like the whole 9 yards. And there isn't really like a hashtag that covers all that. I've seen the long ones, but for now, and because of what the march calls itself, the MMIW march in Brooklyn is going to be on, I believe, the 18th. I think it's the 18th. I'm going to be posting in the links below. If it's not up there tonight as I post this, then it will be up there tomorrow. I don't think most of my viewers are usually up this late anyway, so you guys will probably just see it in the morning. And so going just a little bit left, and then I swear I'm going to finish because this is long. I'm going to go later into like the whole. I've been talking. I always talk to people about how we don't use play and being silly and being clowns or whatever as part of our existence anymore, even though that is a base need for every species. Everything plays. Everything amuses itself. Like, to the point where if there's no way to amuse itself, it will find detrimental ways to amuse itself. I mean, that's like the field I work in is dealing with that all the time. And doing all this stuff, doing the yoga, doing the qigong, doing all the everything has gotten me dancing more. It has me feeling more comfortable in my own skin and body. And I didn't really have that much of dysphoria anymore, but this is like booted the last of it for me. I'm not going to say that does that for everybody else because I don't dislike my body. I don't dislike the way I'm made. I just don't like having to deal with people being taught to be ignorant. It's understandable. And I don't like that centers around my body. But then again, that centers around everybody's body. And that's not going to change until we get everyone to stop, not just stopping it towards, trans and queer folk. And then the last thing is, so if you've been on Instagram yesterday, then you will have seen I'm starting to post my loud lists. I will do a video that explains that more. Loud listing is something that I used to do a lot. Sorry, my screen just popped off. I was like, what the fuck is this? Used to do it a lot, like everything else that I do. And I'm getting back into it now. It allows me to say who's really around, and if you're confused by that, it's multiplicity and dissociative identity and channeling and deity and all that reference, because it's all interconnected. And there will be a video about it another time. So anyways, I'm going to get the fuck off of this thing and go to sleep because I have clients all tomorrow. And I'm trying to go to bed earlier. This is alright. Midnight's okay. So anyways, good night, y'all. Take good care of yourselves. Much love. Be good to yourselves. Be the best monster you can be. Oh, I didn't do my prayer in the beginning. Well, I'm not doing it at the end. It goes for the beginning. So I'll save that for next time. Be the best monster you can be. Even if you're being forgetful or you make mistakes, because to actually be able to perfect anything, nothing's ever perfect, you have to make as many mistakes as you can, because all that trial and error just teaches you things. Were you going to say something? Okay. They're working on a doll head over there. Oh, check out their Instagram anyways, Encrypted Ritual. But they casted and they're messing with a head that I sculpted. So fun times. There you go. What happened? Never mind, it won't be on Instagram. It's probably on their Patreon, same name. Bye. Oh my god, dude. It's not anywhere yet. It will be there eventually. Good night, y'all.